If anyone could write down a coherent explanation of what happened in this episode, that'd be great. I still enjoyed it though, even though it wasn't very coherent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was terrible.
The cycle must end.
So we're more than halfway through season 2. Would you?
Is it really?
It? Yeah.
Oh, that goes quick.
It's going quick,
wow.
So we're getting through it.
Nice.
What have you thought of season 2 so far?
Better than season 1.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but still not
perfect.
Still not the Next Generation I remembered from years ago. Yeah.
No, it's not.
I guess that comes in later seasons.
Yeah. Season 3 probably will make the dramatic change.
Okay.
So, but this episode we're reviewing is Time Squared. This is one of what episodes I like from season 2 for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Watching it again, there's certain things that actually doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
But I still enjoy the episode.
Yeah, it's good. Good episode. I remember it. Yeah, like you said, I remember it, but not in great detail.
Yeah.
So watching it again was good. And like yourself, I don't know what questions you got, but there's some things in there I'm thinking, really? Not sure.
Yeah,
so.
We're watching it, or we're both watching it probably in a different light. You know, we're watching it knowing that we're going to be talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that because of that, I'm probably critiquing it or looking at it differently in a different lens.
Well, I don't know. I mean, one of the questions I got is, I think it's quite a valid question.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, where Picard shoots himself.
Yeah.
And then it says, Doctor, you're needed in the cargo bay. She comes down with O'Brien.
Yeah.
Scans and sees that Picard is dead.
Yeah.
Gets up and just walks out. And it's like O'Brien's just left standing there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Does O'Brien know that's a duplicate? I mean, if I was O'Brien, I'd be like,
that's true.
The captain's dead.
Don't think of that.
It's the first time you see him.
It's like it's the Doctor's job to sort the body out.
That's probably why Pulaski didn't last that long. She nearly killed that Picard earlier on anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wrong serum.
It was a great episode for gossip, though. So I was watching this with my wife earlier today.
Yeah.
And she was saying, you know, I'd love to be one of the ensigns or undercrew, lower decks and that. Oh, dear, what happened? I heard there's another captain on board. And he's a splitting image of Picard. No way. Yeah, I think he's got an evil twin from another dimension. No way. You can spread loads of gossip.
Yeah,
Because you're in the 24th century, you could come up with all sorts of ideas.
Well, it's a good thing the corridor was clear when they were walking through. Imagine they were like, someone was walking the opposite direction when they're both talking to each other. You're like, sorry.
Yeah.
Just see that. It's
just my twin. Don't worry, he's visiting.
Yeah. So, I enjoyed the episode. But there were things like that was confusing to me. Is like, why did this entity or life form have a vendetta or some beef with Picard?
Yeah. And
why was there 2 beams thrown at Picard and the Picard lying on the bed? I didn't really get why that happened.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
What was?
I'd
like to know more details.
We know there's some kind of life force because Deanna says she can sense something.
Yeah.
So we know it's just not like an anomaly or something. We know there's.
My
best guess is it's like an animal just on instinct. Like a plant, for example, it has no conscious awareness. It just acts on instinct.
Yeah, be careful. Some plants behind you.
It's all right.
Might start attacking you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they said that they see the ship as an entity.
Okay.
And Picard is the brain.
There is a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah.
My best guess would be...
And that's the last line in the episode as well. Damn few answers or something that Picard says he's looking out the window.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of questions, number one. Damn few answers.
Maybe none of it was real. Perhaps we were all part of a shared illusion.
Yes, I don't know how it guess is that Picard is the brain then.
Mm,
Like,
He was
we know
making
that.
decisions.
We know that because he's making decisions. But
He gets
if this
shot.
entity is based on instinct,
Yeah.
unless it's because Picard was the one who went out in the shuttle, it could be that the Enterprise physically being there, and especially its warp engines, might have been damaging the entity. Like, in my mind, I was thinking it's the entity is just reacting out of instinct, like it's
Yeah.
harming me, so I'm just going to attack it or whatever.
Yeah. It's interesting because we talked about elementary dear data and how that was written. We thought the next episode of that Moriarty, the other episode, was almost like a better version of that episode.
Yes.
And I feel like Time Squared, although I enjoyed it, I think Cause and Effect was probably a better version.
What's cause and effect?
That's the one, the time loop, and the Enterprise kept getting destroyed. They get caught in the vortex.
Yes.
Well, they didn't get caught in it.
What season's that?
5, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's almost like a time loop thing where things...
Maybe the writers kind of just...
And they said the same kind of things. There was like,
yeah.
what happens if changing our decision is the reason this continues? Maybe staying put was the best decision to make.
Yeah.
And they kind of asked the same question in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the shuttle apparently came from somewhere up ahead, so rather than continuing on this course, maybe we should stop here and let whatever it is out there come to us.
We may already be too late.
What are you saying? That stopping, turning right or left, even reversing our course would be pointless?
If you're right, perhaps we could escape from the loop by avoiding the collision.
That's our guess.
Perhaps we should reverse course.
For all we know, reversing course may be what leads us into the crash.
Maybe they look back at the
older
previous
thing.
seasons and thought, here's some good ideas, let's do something slightly different with it. And I think the writing must have been better later on.
And they did pull things from earlier seasons,
Mm-hmm.
which I appreciated, when they brought the crystalline entity back, Law came back, obviously Moriarty did,
The Borg.
the Borg, yeah. So there's certain things they brought back and they improved upon it that not only helped with new audiences, but also people who have been there from the very start. It elevated everything for those who have been there from the beginning, who tolerated the inconsistencies of the first 2 seasons.
Do you know what was the public reception of season 1 and 2 when it first came out?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I mean, it can't be. I know people weren't happy with it because people said you can't replace Kirk and Spock and McCoy. So it didn't have a good initial reception in that point of view. But I don't know how it was taken by the audience.
Okay.
Maybe a different generation audience took it in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. That's the Star Trek that got me in. I didn't really acknowledge the original series. I think I may have known it existed, but
So the original series came out
in the
in the 60s, and this was 80s.
Yeah.
So it's like 20 years
So
later.
late 60s original series and late 80s so it's 20 years.
Yeah, you're pulling in almost a new generation. I mean, you've got all the old people from the original series who enjoyed watching this because of the memory of it.
Yeah.
So those people, I think you're right, by and large would have been like, this isn't the Star Trek that we are used to.
But the thing is, it's largely accepted now, I think.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is the case with the new Trek that's out. I think it hasn't got the same acceptance.
Next Generation has definitely stood the test of time.
Yeah.
In Star Trek.
Whereas I don't know if the new series is going to have the same.
We'll see in 50 years' time.
Let's wait for 20 years and see.
Yeah.
See what's left. But we're here now, talking about Next Generation. So and I'm sure there's obviously other people doing the same thing.
This is over 30 years though.
Yeah, Well,
we're in 2025 now.
Yeah, exactly.
And it came out late 80s.
87 it came out, yeah.
So almost 40 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Make you feel old, James.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, even though that's over 35 years old, episode. I still enjoyed it. It's not
Mhm.
perfect, but it was an engaging story. There are a lot of holes in it, but it was engaging.
Mhm.
Some people despise them, but I enjoy the time paradox type episodes. I think they're probably normally easily can be my favourite ones.
Mhm.
And I like this one. And I like the confusing elements to that episode,
Yeah.
even though it's not completely giving you a complete answer at the end of it. But I just enjoyed, the interaction Picard has with the other Picard, and they're trying to work out. And I like the fact that everything's inverted.
Yeah.
And
Like
they're
the
trying
power's inverted.
Yeah, it's
and
like everything's confusing.
the drugs do the opposite effect on Picard in the
Yeah.
sick bay.
Yeah.
I'm half expecting his uniform to be inverted. So like the
He's
combat
an
on
ensign.
the
But yeah, getting into the episode so we don't miss any of the interesting parts.
Yeah.
I know we're just talking generally about the episode, but I like the first scene of this episode. So in the first scene, this is where Riker is cooking eggs.
Oh yeah.
And I really like this scene because I think they're doing it more in this season 2. You see more like the social aspects at the beginning. They play poker. I think they've done other things as well. At this time, Riker's cooking eggs.
Omelette, apparently.
Oh, it was an omelette, was it?
He says it's an omelette, but
yeah, and the eggs aren't that great.
looks like fried egg.
Yeah.
Or scrambled egg. It's kind of fried.
Yeah, and they all come through. Someone nearly gets squashed by the door because.
Yeah, I love that bit.
It's like.
Pulaski almost gets squashed.
Yeah, and obviously the highlight of the whole scene is Worf, obviously.
Yeah.
Again.
Delicious.
Now, I know this is bleeding into the next episode, but Riker says, I'd learned how to cook from my dad. My mum died when I was very young. Obviously, the next episode, we see Riker's dad, and Pulaski had a thing.
Right.
And Pulaski said, "Oh, your father?"
Oh, yeah.
So it was like, and then in the episode, the Icarus factor, is it?
Yeah.
She said, "Oh, it never come up. Like, I didn't know you dated my father."
That's true.
Oh, it never come up in conversation. There was a point where you could have brought it up. Your father? Oh, yes. So you used to date him. What?
You mean the one that you spoke about when we had eggs?
Yes, exactly. Should have brought it up then.
No, that's the wrong father. I was talking about the other father.
Yes. Oh, you're Riker. Oh, sorry. Yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just like, that's interesting.
Were those episodes written by two different people?
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously,
did they talk to each other? They have a writer's room. They should be talking.
Yeah. My guess is they'll talk generally about plot rather than
details.
The actual detail as who says what.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But you do need to talk about details because like that, you need consistencies in story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, people weren't talking.
No. Probably men.
Probably.
But then they detect the shuttlecraft on their sensors, and they're trying to understand what's a shuttlecraft doing so far away without its mother's ship. And then they track to beam the shuttlecraft in.
Second time we see the cargo bay?
The shuttle bay.
Shuttle bay now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I guess the cargo bay is different to
shuttle
bay.
That's true.
Even though they probably are the same set.
Same set. Don't turn them on, they won't notice.
Yeah. Yeah, is it the second time? It's the second time we've seen a shuttle dock.
Yeah.
Is it? No, it's not. It's probably the third time.
I've never liked the shuttles.
Not these ones.
They look so boxy and naff.
Yeah, they get better though. Because I think these are the old ones.
Okay.
And they improve on the shuttle design.
Low budget.
Yeah. They make them a bit more curvier, I think, later on.
It's like it's made out of cardboard boxes and painted over.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a Volvo.
Yeah. They improve. But yeah, that's when they see, obviously, it takes Worf and Riker, these two dumb idiots, to... Sorry. Read the wait a minute. NCC 1001 D.
Shuttle 5.
Yeah.
Oh.
NCC 105. What's going on?
This is interesting.
Who's
That's
it?
the same.
Wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. It's like, yeah. So took them a while to you should just be able to glance at both of them and just go, oh, they're both the same. But, you know, we've got to get the dramatic effects.
Yeah.
And that antimatter explosion doesn't cause a lot of damage, does it? Because Picard comes down and goes, oh, that looks like a sign of antimatter explosion.
You know,
it's like someone's got a bit of like charcoal and they probably didn't want to damage their new shuttlecraft they built.
I like how in Star Trek a lot have noticed this. Whenever there's a problem and you want the captain to come down, they never tell the captain what the problem is. They always say, I think you better come down and see it for yourself. We're not going to tell you. You want to come see this for yourself.
Yeah, because
keep you in suspense.
Captain,
Yes, number one.
are you on the bridge?
Where else would I be?
Well, right now, I think you should be in Shuttle Bay 2.
Why? What is it?
This I think you should see for yourself.
And everyone wants to look at his face. Someone looks like you.
Look, hold his face up. Look,
look,
it's
react. I do like the sound of the shuttle bay door alarm. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about that sound effect I like.
Yeah. But it is your ringtone for a text message.
Oh yeah, and he also asked Data to bring Data down to have a look as well. But the reason why I point out is like, so Captain, I want you to come and have a look at this. Bring Data along. And then Troy decides to come along as well.
Oh,
like, no one asked you to come along. It's like,
well, everyone else is leaving the bridge. What's she going to do?
Come along. So you need something for her to do. Just tag along.
Well,
because she's got to do something in this episode. Well, she does some stuff in this episode.
She is trained in command, isn't she? So she can temporarily command the ship. So I think we see that in the later episode.
That's true. You think she's trying to find her opportunity.
No, I was thinking maybe she was too scared to be command.
Maybe. Yeah.
She thought, I'm not having this.
Yeah.
Which means who was left on the bridge?
I don't know. It might have that.
Anything could have happened.
Oh, it's a shame. It would have been great if it had been that guy from that other episode. What was his name? Heskell, whatever his name was.
I don't know.
I don't know who we left. Wesley? Was he around? Yeah, Wesley's the only one.
He was in the next. I don't remember him in this episode, but one of the ensigns would have had the great luxury of sitting in the captain's seat while the bridge is empty.
Yeah, true.
Wow,
that'd been
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and
right. Set a course.
He probably started up all the gossip. Oh, did you hear?
Yeah.
Because they got the cameras on downstairs.
No, they'll be saying, "Wait, oh, that's true. Yeah, there'd be cameras, wouldn't they?"
They should be.
Yeah.
That's what Picard should have done. No, it's all right.
It's true. Yeah.
I don't need to see for myself.
I can see from the camera.
Yeah, I can see from the camera. I don't have to have a look. So the Doctor's getting strange readings that are out of phase, which is a clue normally when it's something to do with time. Things are out of phase, aren't they?
Yeah, or different dimensions or realities.
And Data needs to check the logs, and
there's not enough power, Captain.
Geordi and Data are confused because it's like this should be compatible, but it's not working. But
it's inverted.
It's inverted. I think they get an inverter. But I think, Brent Spiner has a bit of an itch during that scene because he goes like this.
Oh, okay.
When he was in the shuttle.
Wow.
He had a bit of an itch. He did that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a human mannerism he's just picked up.
Could be.
You could argue. The future Picard, which we learn eventually, is lying in sickbay.
Mm-hmm.
And Picard wants to get some answers. He's very impatient, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very agitated about it all as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting episode for Picard as a character. Because he doesn't understand the whole situation. He thinks at some point in the future, like 6 hours from now, he's going to or he knows he's going to abandon ship. And to him, that's unthinkable
Yeah,
because he loves his ship, he loves his crew.
yeah,
And so, from his point of view, I think this is a huge flaw in his character, which I don't know, in my mind, I'm thinking that he thinks this is actually, when the rubber hits the road, this is actually what I'm like. I'm going to abandon ship and leg it.
I know I'm skipping ahead, but he plays that well, what you're saying in the conference room.
The last thing you would do is leave the bridge at the Enterprise during an emergency.
Yes.
But the way he says it is almost like he says the line, but the way he personifies the answer,
Mm-hmm.
he shows like he's uncertain, like
Okay,
he's
yeah.
insecure, thinking, will I leave the ship?
Mm-hmm. Put a lot of doubt in his mind.
Yeah, he's got his doubt. He's like, is he going to think of himself over the crew? That's what he looked like he was concerned about.
To me, I saw that as more of a smirk, as more of a. But to me, it came across, and this wasn't the intention, but it came across that Picard had smirked at Worf's comment and said, "Yep, you're right. I'm out of here as soon as there's a moment's trouble.
Yeah,
I've got my own.
Yeah.
I got my own yacht."
Yeah. Back in sickbay, Picard is completely frustrated, probably, and trying to get answers, like wake him. Pulaski didn't do a great job there when she put that injection into Picard. I know she didn't know. I think she was supposed to revive him, and it was doing the opposite effect.
Okay.
But she's like, oh no, panic, but then runs all the way over to the table. I mean, you could have brought the table right next to.
And why doesn't she have an assistant?
Yeah.
There's no one else in sickbay.
It's true. You should have to, and also, no assistant. You should put the table closer, because why do you need to go? You know, you expect when you're doing your job, all your tools are nearby, not like on the other side of the room.
Yeah.
You should run over and get a different hypo spray, come back. It could have been too late.
Yeah. End of the episode.
Yeah, exactly.
I've killed the captain.
Yeah.
Picard was quite rude to her as well. I can't remember what he said.
Are you all right?
I'm fine, Doctor. Save your ministrations for your patient.
Like, wow, okay.
Yeah, he was a bit rude, but I think he was just agitated with the whole. He's not in control of the situation.
Which Riker gives a good analogy or analysis later.
Yeah. In his ready room.
Yeah.
You like to know everything and make a decision based on all the available information.
Yes.
So you're just telling me to just sit here, shut up, and wait, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then before you know it, something happens straight away.
Oh,
yeah. Oh no, it's an anomaly directly beneath us.
It's interesting when they come out of the conference room, after they've reviewed the log from the shuttle.
Yeah.
And they see that video of the Enterprise getting blown up. They come out of the conference room, and I think because my wife and I were joking about something that Picard had done, we didn't clock how everyone looked uneasy. And then my wife said, "What's up with them all?" And I said, "Well, they know that in about 3 hours they're all going to be dead."
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, rubbish. Like, yeah, you forget that, don't you? Actually, it's very focused on Picard, but actually, the rest of the crew know in 3 hours' time,
because they come out looking at each other, don't they? Like Worf and Riker look at each other like, what?
Yeah.
It's good they acknowledge that in a way.
Yeah.
That
don't tell the other crew members.
Yeah, that's true. You've got to keep that confidential.
Mm-hmm.
So they get caught in the anomaly. They try to warp out.
It's very pretty, though. The anomaly
it is, isn't it?
When you look
it's like
into
a funnel.
Yeah.
Very good effect for the time. I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they try to push it engines for warp 9, but it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they've tried to launch a probe to start off with, which is destroyed, to let you know how dangerous it is to go any further into the void.
Just in case you didn't watch the video.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah. And then he gets knocked down by that beam, but the beam also hits his counterpart in the sick bay for some reason. That blue
Yeah.
beam hits him, knocks him down, and then it also hits the other Picard.
I mean, it isn't answers, is it?
It's very hard to work out why they did that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to do that. They
No.
could just fire the beam at Picard on the bridge. But
Yeah.
why is it significant to fire the beam? What does this beam do? Because he's not reacting to it. He's just lying there still.
Unless that life form is also stuck in a time loop, and it thinks Picard is the problem. So if I kill Picard, it will reset everything, and I can go back to normal.
Maybe, but it isn't powerful enough to kill Picard.
No,
it's
powerful
twice
enough to blow up the Enterprise.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my gosh,
What do you think?
what do you guys think of this episode?
Let us know, because we don't know.
Yeah, it would be good to know what your thoughts are. It's like if there is any explanation to this. They could have destroyed the Enterprise. The entity decided not to, but harm in some fashion.
Yeah.
With this blue beam thing.
Yeah.
And that's when Picard thinks it's personal. That's personal.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get off this ship. What's me? Which can't be the case because it wasn't personal. Because if they wanted Picard, then why did the Enterprise get destroyed?
That's very true.
Because obviously,
yeah.
Unless it was a warning to get off the ship.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's all very confusing. You know, we got results from a poll that we put up on Facebook. So there's a kind of mixture of opinion on this episode. Maybe because of these gaps in the plot that don't make sense.
Yeah. Here's another question.
Go on. To confuse it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Enterprise can kind of cruise along at warp 9, no problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, as long as their power lasts. But as soon as they're caught in something, they can't maintain warp 9 for long.
Yeah.
Why?
That's true. Maybe because I don't know. I can't explain it. Maybe because of the other energy that's pulling them is causing.
Could be actually. It's a force thing, isn't it? So they're using up more energy to try and
maintain.
Yeah.
Well, they reduced from warp 9 to like warp another warp factor, just to maintain the position. It was like 5 or 6.
So Picard goes back down to sickbay and has a little argument with himself.
Yeah.
Interrogates himself.
Yeah. Incoherent Picard is really good at acting. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, when you see him in agony as well.
He's like
his facial
confused.
expressions.
Yeah, it's very good. I thought I don't know if they made it more convincing because I think they might have done some makeup to make him
there was some, to make his face paler and a bit more gaunt.
Yeah.
Some shading on there. But that only goes so far. You have to act as well.
Yeah. He was really good at that. And so he becomes more coherent and then they start talking to each other. The future Picard mentions the Enterprise is an entity and I'm the brain and I need to get off the ship. But this Picard is it's already predetermined. He can't get out of the cycle of how he acts.
Yeah.
That's what the current Picard is trying to say. It's like, you don't know you're not even listening to me.
Yeah. He's just almost on autopilot. The future Picard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not considering other options.
But if this time loop's supposed to continue, technically it should be the current Picard getting in on shuttlecraft and going around in a circle.
Do you know what? Because it's been such a long time since I've seen this episode, in my mind...
You thought it was?
I actually thought that's what happened.
But it wasn't. It was the future Picard going on the shuttle, the current Enterprise.
No, I actually thought that's how the episode would have ended. Like in my mind, it ended with the current Picard going on the shuttle and leaving, and then everything returns to normal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But then when he shot himself, I remember that. I was like, oh yeah, that's not how it happened. I did get a little confused as to who's talking when they're walking along and when they're in the turbo lift. Saying, wait, you're future Picard. No, you're the future Picard. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Usually in films and series like this, where you've got duplicates, there'll be a distinguishing feature, like one will have a black armband or something.
Yeah, or a cut on the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but Picard's quite interesting. Picard saying, what was the other choice? What was the other choice? What was the other choice? Was it to fly through the void? Was that the other choice? I was trying to work out what the other choice was. Because he said there's no other choice to deal with the situation.
He interrogates further and says, you're holding something back. What is it you're not telling me?
Yeah.
But I don't think he's not forthcoming on any vital information. So I think the current Picard kind of deduces it based on what he's not getting.
What is it? What would never work? I have to leave. What was the other choice? We can't fight. We can't escape. We can't go forward.
No. We can't go forward. That would destroy the Enterprise.
Was that it? Was that the other choice?
I must leave.
It's quite a big deal that he decides to shoot himself.
Mm-hmm.
The cycle must end here. And then
which is a fair point.
Yeah.
Because if the cycle is going to continue forever, from Picard's selfish point of view, he doesn't want to be in that situation forever and ever through this loop going round and round and round. Well, there were a few more other things, or one other thing that was a bit like, that wouldn't work. There's a scene where Picard leaves the bridge. I think he goes down to sick bay or somewhere. Yeah. And then about 3 seconds later, Deanna's like, I should go with him, and goes towards the turbo lift.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you're going to have to wait for a new one. You can't walk through that door. He's taking that turbo lift. You've got to wait for another one to replace it.
Oh, yeah, and then she comes in. Does she come in with him at exactly the same time? No, she won't. Okay.
She comes in later.
Okay.
I think she's walking towards that door as if there is going to be a turbo lift there.
Yeah.
Like if you're waiting for a turbo lift, you walk up and you can see someone slowing down, ready to push a button to call one, but she's walking with determination towards that door.
Yeah.
With full knowledge, there's not a turbo lift behind that door.
Questions, what would you do differently? How would you write it differently?
Well, where do we start? We would rewrite it.
I think it to make more sense.
Yeah.
I would like some answers. Like, I know at the end of the episode, Picard says there's no answers to these questions.
That's clever, though.
Because that's the writer's fault.
The writer knew this doesn't make sense. So let's just say Picard says this.
Yeah.
That way we don't
end.
We don't need to explain anything.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cop-out, but it's like, I want to know why this is all happening. Why is this entity aiming at Picard? A bit more information. Maybe an entity knows... in my mind, I was thinking the reason is because the entity is trying to stop him for something he does in the future, which injures that race or entity.
As a Borg.
Yeah.
Imagine if Picard got assimilated and started doing stuff against this entity.
Yeah, you could do that. You could say...
Imagine if the Borg ship got caught in it. I do love putting other races in these situations.
Maybe all ships... Yeah, I think... Yeah, that was what I'd probably do, just to make it a bit more explanation and a bit more reasons. I don't want damn few answers at the end of my episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there should have been a little bit more from Deanna in terms of sensing about the life form.
Yeah.
I think that life form could have been developed a bit more. Like, we know it's acting on instinct, and that's kind of all we knew, which is fine. But then, when the Enterprise got further in and as things were happening, Deanna could have sensed, the life form is becoming angry or agitated or scared or something. From the outset, she said it was a life form. The other way you could go is that it isn't a life form at all, and it's just a natural phenomenon. And why did it just suddenly appear?
I don't know.
Why did their sensors not detect it?
Well, that's exactly what happened in Cause and Effect as well. It appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah. But when the camera was out and you could see the funnel with the Enterprise
going,
you could visually see it.
Yeah. It came
But-
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it invisible until they got there?
It was almost like it was predetermined that was going to happen,
Yeah.
but then it wasn't really resolved.
So there were quite a few questions we wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of questions. The other question is, what did they do really well in this episode?
I think Picard killing his double with the.
You like death?
I love death.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Being killed, yes.
Yeah. I love it when people die.
Yeah.
Because he's got the guts to make a very, very, very difficult decision. Because even then, he has no guarantee as to what the result's going to be.
No,
He knows the cycle needs to end somehow.
he doesn't know what would be the result of the end of the cycle. What's happening after that?
To be fair, killing himself and hoping for the best is a good try when he knows the other way is the whole Enterprise gets blown up.
Yeah, he put his ship first. Then
He got nothing to lose,
he
seriously.
sacrificed himself in a way. Even
Yeah,
though, yeah,
that's true, yeah.
for the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought just everything between the two Picards was good. Acting off one another. I know he's not always in. It's a double probably there, but just the whole interaction and his frustration about that this is not what he would do.
Mm.
And the disorientated Picard was played very well.
Mm.
It's pretty much a Picard episode and how he thinks, more about how Picard works out problems and how he deals with them when he's under extreme pressure. So I thought that was done really well. And everyone's talking about Picard, even Pulaski and Deanna in sickbay are talking about him, about how...
Yeah, they have a slight disagreement.
Yeah, have a disagreement. What line stood out to you and why?
Probably that one that Picard said to Pulaski.
Yeah.
Just because I wasn't expecting him to be so abrupt and rude. But I think it goes to show that he's under a lot of stress or a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a captain, you're responsible for everyone under your command, aren't you?
Yeah, he was very good when he was very stern. Even, I think I put my favourite lines when it's like, apart from his features, there's nothing I find familiar. Anything you found funny?
Oh, a few things in that one.
Did you?
Yeah. The death, obviously.
I love it.
So,
Death is funny.
So Riker's bad cooking.
With Worf.
With Worf, seemed delicious. The doors closing in on
Pulaski.
the Doctor leaving O'Brien with the dead body.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Well, it's even O'Brien's face. It's like...
Yeah. And then O'Brien just stands there and watches.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that they want someone to witness it disappear.
Yeah.
But they could have done that in a different way. Like, maybe the medic people were coming along to...
Yeah.
They're about to arrive, or bring the bed or whatever they're going to do with it. And then it disappears.
Yeah. Elaborate. They just vanished. It's like, what happened? Just gone. That's all right. Well, Cole Meany got a paycheck that day.
He did.
Just to appear in...
I wonder how much he got paid just to do that.
That short scene.
Yeah.
He does a lot of standing around looking sometimes, doesn't he?
Yeah. And I wonder what made them decide, let's bring Cole Meany further into it.
I think, well, I don't know if it's true, but I think Rick Berman, who was the producer at the time, was a big fan of him.
Oh, fair enough.
So I think he's tried to bring him back whenever they could. I agree with all those funny parts. I think I probably had similar ones. Unfortunately, I deleted my answers and I realised I've overwritten them with the next episode by mistake.
Oh dear.
So I'm trying to remember what I put. What is the ultimate bad acting moment?
I've never been a huge... Well, I've only seen Marina Sirtis in...
I think the same scene.
Next Generation.
Yeah.
Although she was in an episode of Stargate SG-1. I was like, oh, I recognise you. But yeah.
Sorry, Marina. What's Andrew about to say?
To be fair, I haven't seen her in enough stuff to
comment
on her other acting.
Yeah.
I'm not...
And this is quite new to... I mean, this is probably early days as well.
Okay. And I'm not saying that I could do any better.
Well, I don't know what you look like in her costume.
I look rather dashing, you know.
And a wig.
Yeah. You know, people being paid to act.
Yeah.
So I don't think she's the strongest actress.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I have to agree. And I think maybe it's the material, because the scene that I thought wasn't very good, which I would put in the bad acting category, was the one where Pulaski and Troy are talking, because I feel like that scene was, they're talking about Picard, thinking Pulaski's like, I will have to, you know, relieve him of command. And I don't think it would come to that. Just the whole scene was dry, wooden, without any, it didn't have any impact.
It's true.
It's almost like there was no point in that scene. It's almost like, oh, we need a scene for the women. I feel like that's what it felt like.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Because
there's no follow-up from that. There was no later scene where Pulaski then almost had to step in.
So there was no like purpose of that scene. It's almost like,
if they removed that scene, would it have affected the episode?
No.
That's true.
And unfortunately, I think that's why, for me, it falls flat.
Yeah.
Maybe when I was watching the episode, maybe I might have been invested, but with the foreknowledge of what happens in the episode, it's like, what is the point of this scene? Is it just to give these characters something to do?
Yeah. So going back to the original question, which was, what's the ultimate bad acting moment?
It's not that particular scene for you then.
What's that?
Eh? What bit is that?
In sick bay, where she senses Picard's anguish. And
just like,
yeah.
Oh. Oh, is that the bit you thought was?
Yeah, I thought, okay.
It's a bit too much, or
no? I wasn't convinced.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. You?
No, I wasn't convinced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there was another bit of bad acting actually. When Data and Geordi are in the shuttle trying to figure out what's going on, in the background through the doorway you can see an ensign on the panel.
What was he like this? Because he's so far away. I'm working on the control panel.
No, seriously though.
What was he doing?
He was pretending to work.
Okay.
But I was saying to my wife, he wouldn't be doing that. He'll be like, "Oh, what's going on?" You know, you've just seen a duplicate of the captain. You're not going to be doing a job. Are you going to be like, "Can I help? What's going on?" You want?
But that'd be very distracting for the viewer. Be like, "What's that guy doing?"
He won't just be constantly looking at. You know, if you're working in an office and it's normally empty and two other people are there, unless you're like heavily invested in what you're doing, and let's be honest, that's not always the case, is it? You would look up from time to time and then go back to your work.
Yeah.
This guy is solidly invested in what he's doing. Those buttons, man, he's loving those buttons.
I didn't notice the guy.
Go back, watch that scene,
Yeah.
and look at that guy.
Yeah, I'll have to look at him.
Yeah.
Oh, and I can critique him.
Unless he is like an A-star candidate. He is like, Ensign, you are amazing.
And what would you say is the moral lesson?
If you find a duplicate of yourself,
kill yourself. That's why I put my That's why.
Great.
Good life lesson there. I'll take that one.
I'm not sure there was a moral, was there?
Not really. I was trying to think. I mean, I think I might have accidentally come up with one. It's like putting people before yourself, because he sacrificed himself.
Okay.
Well, his future self for his crew. I think the only lesson that could be learned is like, when writing a script, make sure you know what you're talking about.
No, it's all right, because if you don't, you can just put in a line at the end that...
Damn few answers. Yeah.
Would it be funny if Patrick Stewart just ad-libbed that bit? Because he thought, this doesn't make any sense, so I'm just going to say this.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to know. But he's definitely a writer, or someone said, we need to have this at the end because it doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. How many women did Riker sleep with?
None.
I mean, if he did in that time loop, it would have been an infinite amount. but he didn't. I didn't think Worf got denied.
No.
No.
He loved the eggs.
Yeah, and he wasn't denied for that.
So if anything,
He was
he's
the
got-
opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the opposite then? Accepted.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Well done, Worf.
Any weedy security guys? No.
No.
No, no reason for any weedy security guys.
No.
So that's it. So yeah.
We have a question though from you asked on Facebook.
Yeah, that's right. So obviously we asked people to give their votes on what they thought of this episode.
Your votes.
Out of 5.
Mm.
And any comments or questions they had. And so we asked people to rate Time Squared out of 5. And out of the 41, 9% gave it a 5. 57, majority, gave it a 4, a solid sci-fi. And then 19%, or 1/5 almost, gave it an average.
Mm-hmm.
And then 14%, 2. It's okay. And then 1% gave it a 1.
I think I would have voted 4, along with the majority of people, despite all of the
You would have given it a what?
a 4.
A 4.
Yeah.
I probably would have done the same, which is the majority of people, which is 23 people gave it a 4. So, but maybe I think it's probably the unresolved part.
Yeah, if
probably-
you voted a 3 or a 2, I'd be genuinely
Or if
interested
you
to
would
know.
give it, what would the reason be?
Yeah. Was it the plot? Was it all the loopholes and loopholes?
Time loopholes.
Time loopholes.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they don't want just an enjoyable episode. They want an episode to make sense.
Wow. Can't have everything, can you?
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, one of the questions we had, even though it's not related, is if you could design your own ship, what would it be called, and what class would it be?
Wow. Good question.
And we're going to spend another hour discussing or thinking about that.
The type of ship and what it would be called. Excellent.
Yeah, we can do that. And our next episode will be the Icarus factor. But yeah, thanks for engaging with us.
Yeah, thank you. See you next time.
See you next time.